It's time now for us to introduce the players. Yes, it is indeed. Just wait for these people to sit down nicely. We don't want them falling down the stairs or anything. Have you got a note? You're late. 2 minutes. There we are. Okay, let's introduce the players. Well, first and foremost, this 33-year-old from Blackpool is a former semi-finalist of the Scottish Open. Hoping to find more of the same of that form here at Potters. Will you please welcome onto the rink, Chris Gale.
Gotta hold on, a new sensation, right now. It's gonna take you a new sensation,
Gale has appeared in more world ranking finals than any other player in the history of the game. 3 times an international open and former world indoor singles champion. Will you please show your appreciation for David Gourlay?
I've got the power.
Well, thank you, Richard, and welcome to you all out there watching in on this YouTube stream of the Just 2017 World Indoor Bowls Championships. This is the Open Singles, kindly hosted by Potters Resort.
Track length 27.5 metres,
In our
27
evening
and a
game
half.
here on Tuesday. I'm delighted to be joined in commentary by Jonathan Ross. Welcome to comms, John.
Evening, Janice.
Interesting game on the cards here. David Gourlay, obviously really well known in the top 16, been about in the top 8 for many, many years. As Richard introduced, he's the player that's featured in more finals than any other player in the history of the World Bowls Tour. Against Chris Gale. Chris qualified here by being the top-ranked player in the PBA rankings. So that's having gone to all the PBA qualifiers. The end of that is ranking ranked in 1, so he gets to play in all 3 of the World Bowls Tour ranking events. Could be a good game this, John. That's, Chris is a very confident player.
Yes, Chris definitely is, and by qualifying here, he's obviously shown his current form. David has rejuvenated himself, winning the International Open last March, and he's had plenty of match practice here, a little bit more than Chris, so let's see whether that match practice gives him the little edge.
Yeah, Chris Gale did play in the charity game last night. He said himself he agreed to it to try and get a little bit of match practice on the rink.
On green.
David Gourlay's still got the hunger to win titles, though.
Yeah, he's a true professional at this game. He puts a lot of practice in just before the tournament. We all know he doesn't play through the season, but he approaches it the professional way and gives it his all.
Close here. Little edge, got him back to the jack.
1 red. The gap is 2 inches.
I might see Chris playing with a little bit of weight, get a bit of movement in the jack or move the bowl.
It's on a very wide line. It's more on a drawing line, but I think, like you say, Johnny's played a bit of a trundler, but just put it on the high line. Don't forget, we're with you on YouTube, so if you've got any questions that you'd like me to put to Jonathan while he's in commentary with me, or any questions about rules or the WBT, we'll endeavour to answer what we can while we're live on air for you. Preferably things that are broadcastable for John.
Does David try to cover here, just in case Chris tries to attack? Yes, that's what he's going for.
Yes, I can't see Chris being short at this. He's got quite a big drive in his armoury.
His only danger is hitting the red ball onto his own ball, taking it out and losing more shots than one.
Just trying to play the timer again, John.
Very difficult shot in this carpet, but he looks, he's chasing it.
Great
Went for the
effort.
conservative draw.
One shot, David Gourlay.
Well, we played 2 sets of 9 ends here, and if necessary, a 3-end tie break. We've seen a couple of shocks already. Seeds disappearing, including Chris Gale's clubmate this morning, Mark Dawes, lost to a Scottish qualifier,
Jack legs
Charlie
28 and a half
Benz.
metres, 28 and a
And
half.
also yesterday, Andy Thompson, MBE, lost to Graham McKee. So there's been a few shocks about.
Yes, there has. I've actually watched all of those games, and it was quite an interesting game with Charlie. Charlie played very well. He just so passionate about his bowls, and he's tried to qualify, and he eventually did it. And it was great to see him achieve his ambitions.
Yeah, 71 years old, Charlie. And so pleased to have qualified. Like you say, John, been trying for many years, and for some of us it's an ambition to do, is to qualify for an open event. And just to be here in the main event is amazing. Chris is on a very wide drawing line here. Not sure it'll get back totally off this backhand. I mean, David himself plays with a very wide drawing ball. He's playing with his Taylor Internationals out there, for those of you who like to know what the players are playing with. Chris Gale plays with Aero Groove.
It's all about weight with this ball. The line looks good. Yeah, great shot.
Might have just tipped it back
One
to the
red.
red ball. Yep. It's very unfortunate there, really, to tip the jack forward.
Any touch on the jack in this carpet, the jack just flies. It moves very long distance.
Between the red bowl and the green bowl.
Chris can get shot if he just rests off his own bowl now. Played a really good second delivery. Good track again here.
That's a good effort now.
One red.
David keeping to the backhand and rest the green ball.
Still a chance if he can just get back to the green bowl. He played very well in the pairs event earlier on in the week.
Well, that's a good ball. It splits the green balls in case Chris looks to take the red ball out, but I think it's just a draw for him now.
Tries to swoop now. Good line, just lacking that pound of weight.
One shot, David Gourlay. Set scored 2-0 after 2 ends.
I think we've had the questioning again as to how Chris Gale qualified for the World Championships here. I'll just explain again. We have a PBA ranking system, and all the qualifiers at the PBA get points depending on how far they get in events. And PBA ranked 1 gets into all 3 of the WBT current ranking tournaments. So Chris Gale played in Perth back in November. He's in the World Championships here, and he's also in the International Open in March. Consistency from Chris got him enough points. David Gourlay just a little bit disturbed by people coming into the crowd there. Yeah, he's waiting again. There's no shot clock between the jack and the first ball delivered, but it's still very disturbing to players, John, if you just catch somebody out of the corner of your eye moving in the crowds.
Yeah, definitely. Any sort of noise at the moment of delivery, just it's not ideal.
No, it's the very nature of the beast here, so to speak, at Potters. There's over 1,000 seats in this auditorium, and people are coming and going. They've all had a nice dinner and coming in to watch the game tonight.
Well, David set a stall out in these long jacks.
This looks under.
And David capitalised on his first ball. Put the pressure on Chris.
Good line again. Good ball again from David, just behind. A little bit further than he wanted. Chris has got to adjust on his first delivery, yard in it.
It's not far away. They get to the ball. He has. Nice shot to Chris.
1 green. 1 green.
Something similar for David.
He's got good position there. He can just get to the green ball, rest it out, or touch on the jack. Clicking his fingers normally means he thinks he's heavy.
Yeah, any sort of weight in that hand hangs by. It's a lovely hand to draw on.
Your bowl is half an inch past jack high. David's bowl is 8 inches past jack high.
Chris just trying to split the red balls or possibly draw another shot. Well, it hasn't really covered the balls, so chance for David to set the green ball or turn the jack a few inches.
Certainly making sure he's reaching on this line. Might just hang off there, I think.
Yeah, we'll see it once again. Any sort of weight in that forehand, you just keep hanging by.
Chance for Chris. Adjustment on his last to draw for another. A few people online wishing you luck for tomorrow, John, as do we all in the commentary box here.
Cheers. It's a big game for me. I've had a disappointing season so far. So it's a very big game for me.
One shot, Chris Gale.
Right, it'll be interesting to see what jack length
Set
Chris
score
plays.
2-1 after 3 ends.
David's went with 3 long jacks.
Yes, Jonathan plays Chris. It's James Rippey tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes, play James at 2 o'clock.
Jack length 28.5 metres, 28.5.
He's not changed the length too much. Must feel he's playing just as well.
We've seen a lot of jacks sent the full distance, Jonathan, over the last few days. It's unusual. You often see very short jacks played on the portable.
I just think the way the carpet's playing in this tournament, once the jack's at the tee, you tend to get better draws. So I think all the players tend to have the jack towards the tee. Once you shorten the jack, the balls just hang off a little touch.
Well, 2 loose openers from these 2 players.
Chris's first ball, I think, put David off his favourite hand, so that's the first ball David's really played in that forehand. That's not what Chris wants. Let's see whether David will capitalise. There's a nice late swing in this hand. So
Just pulling up. Makes you wonder whether it's just slowed down a little out there
Too
since they had the half-hour practice. It does change the pace at different times of the day. Don't think Chris liked that. His body language very negative with it.
yeah, he's shaking a head. This is a bad end for
Shot
night
ball
for
is
Chris.
2 feet, and the second ball is 2'6".
Great shot there of the new World Bowls Tour shirts at this just 2017 World Indoor Championships. Just had a rebranding, so we had to sort out some new shirts, and they seem to be very, very popular.
5 inches.
I'll give a shout out to Bowls Trader and its owner Steve Broom on that one, as I see he's on the chat. And great shirt, Steve.
Well, Dave got a little bit of fortune there to finish in line with the jack. All Chris will be doing here is trying to get a good second shot. Shot would be a great bonus.
If he's reaching, he's on a good track.
It's a big effort. Well, that was his main job, get a good second.
1 late.
Yes, it's hard when you give yourself 3 short bowls. I know that myself. It's tough to find that drawing weight.
Nice wide line for David. Here he comes.
Very close.
Yeah, well played. Good shot.
2 shots, David Gourlay.
David bags another 2.
Set score 4-1 after 4 ends.
Well, Chris made second bowl there. He really needed that. Didn't want to drop a 3 or a 4. David going back to the longer length jack again. These jacks have certainly been skimming across the surface.
Jack length 29 metres,
Seen a
29.
number of them sent off.
Well, this surface, to be honest, it's the quickest any surface is for the jack. You only have to let the jack out of your hand, and it's quite hard to control. Now let's see if Chris gets a good lead ball in, just to settle his nerves. Yeah, just chasing through the head.
18 inches past jack high.
Tony Hatch, our marker there, giving swift replies to the players' questions as they're playing under the shot clock. We've got Dan Blewett as the umpire and the shot clock king himself on shot clock, Tom Weir.
Great ball by David. I thought he was getting more of the jack there, but still room for Chris.
Yes, you'd think the angle that that bowl came across, it was going to pick up the jack solid. It just got a little thin edge on it. Needs to just ease up, Chris, rest on the back bowl.
1 green.
It's a good ball. David changed to the backhand, try and rest the balls. Yeah, he's shaping up for it.
Well, it'll swing all the way back if it's a length. I think he's just overplayed it.
The gap between jack and bowl is 10 inches.
Now, this is an important ball for Chris. Gets this one in, puts David under all sorts of pressure. Sticking to the forehand.
All on his pace. Just
1
lacking.
green.
It might be in the eye of David. I don't know whether he can play the backhand again. Yeah, switching to the fore.
Well, this is a great line for David's bowls. All on his pace here.
Yeah, lovely line, just a wee bit heavy, but great opportunity for Chris.
1 green.
Chris trotting back up to the mat there. They play under the shot clock rules, which gives a player 30 seconds to deliver their bowl from the last bowl coming to rest. 5 timeouts throughout the course of the first 2 sets, which would give them an extra 60 seconds if they call for a timeout. Just adds a different element to the game. I don't think it affects too many of the top 16 now, John, as you've got used to the shot clock.
No, we've got used to it, yeah. But here's Chris. Gets by the ball. Yeah, great 2 shots.
2 shots, Chris Gale.
That closes the gap to 1 shot. David leads 4 shots to 3.
Set score 4-3 after 5 ends.
Big sigh from Chris there. I don't think he's sure what length to go for at the moment.
I think he's brought them at an extra yard up the green, I think. Not a big difference.
Jack length 27.5 metres, 27.5.
Yeah, I've had a viewer's question come in, John, about the pace of the rink. It does change as the day goes on. It's certainly slower now than it was at the start of the event, where we were told by Dales it was set at 17.5 seconds. Don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I think it's a wee bit slower than that, but I think it's a new underlay, isn't it, Janice? So it takes a wee while for it to keep it stretched. I'm not sure, but as the tournament goes on, the carpet definitely gets a little bit slower. It's probably running around 16 seconds.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And of course, we're only just into the first few days of the tournament, so by this time next week, it will have changed a bit again. Once the rink's down, it isn't re-stretched. It's hoovered as a carpet, but it isn't re-stretched once the advertising boardings have gone in.
Chris is definitely struggling in this direction.
Looks on a good line here, David. Swooping back to the jack now.
Force Chris onto the backhand. He needs a good ball in here. You've done all the hard work getting the 2 shots there to bring it to 4-3. Wouldn't want to lose a bad 3.
His perfect pace with this, it'll reach the red ball. I think he's just under.
Yeah. I think David will punish him here. He's looking at it, David. Thinks he's heavy. And he is. Well, Chris was let off the hook there.
Yeah, he just needs a slight adjustment on his last delivery, John, but he really does want to get a shot in there somewhere, even if he gets second bolt. David picks up a 2 here. We're getting to the back end of the first set.
Chris says 4-time rate, tell her to rate.
Well, Chris needs to step up a gear here. Doesn't
Didn't
like it.
that.
He's really struggled this direction, Janice, I think.
Massive opportunity here for David to get another shot in and score 3.
These are sometimes the hardest shots, the easy ones.
In the area.
Yep, very good ball by David.
3 shots, David
Puts him
Gourlay.
in a good position in this set.
4 up, 3 ends to play.
Set score 7-3 after 6 ends.
I think David will go back to his chosen length of jack. Longer length. Just wonder if Chris gets the jack again, playing back towards our commentary position, where they'll change the length.
I think he should.
That length 26.5 metres, 26.
Once the jack's about 3/4 length coming towards us, the lines are completely different. So I feel he should shake it up if he gets a chance. He just hasn't settled on line or length this direction.
Well, he's got to really count at this end. End 7, 9 end set. David just dropped a couple of feet short there. This swoops, needs a bit more running.
Yeah, it's a better start. The only thing is he'll have to switch hands, I think, with his second bull. David piling on the pressure.
I'm sure there's a
The
few
gap is
people
9 inches.
watching in Blackpool to support Chris Gale. I'm also sure there's a few people watching over in sunny Sitges. Shout out to Stephen and of course Storm. Always got to mention David's dog Storm, as I know he'll be watching the TV.
1 rate. $18.
Well, Chris has made himself a hard job here because he's kind of stopped his bowls right on his own drawing line. David's bowls will get round those.
A superb bull here.
Just like that, perfect bowl.
That's a super bull now. I think Chris needs to attack this, maybe use a bull on to get onto the jack. Needs a disturbance anyway. Even he opens up the hand. At least in the area. Bull solid. That's a great result. And I think he lies shot on the respot.
Great result there. Right down the eye of it. Managed to flick it out onto the respot. He holds shot.
That's a great result for Chris. Very important. Now will David put the pressure on again.
Large swinging bowls these of David's to try and get back to the respot.
It looks good, doesn't it?
Looks great.
Oh, super.
Brilliant
Super bowl.
bowl.
1 rate. The gap is 4 inches.
Chris will be driving this. Try and remove the bowl and leave the jack where it is. Delay 1 shot. Here he goes.
Close.
Got it. Oh, what a
Got
great
it.
end of
Perfect.
bowls. Super end of bowls by both players.
1 shot. Let's go.
That certainly keeps him in this first
Set
set.
score 7-4 of the 7 ends.
Only 3 behind, 2 ends to play.
Just seen the draw shot and the drive shot well executed in that end.
Yeah, he's, as I mentioned earlier, he's very good with his drive shots, Chris.
Now, will that jack go towards the tee or will he drop it shorter?
There we see Chris's drive again. Takes David's bowl clean off. Gets 1 shot. I think this is full length again. Or close to anyway.
I just feel that jack should be
28
shorter for
metres,
Chris.
28.
But he's the man on the mat.
Yeah, we did say that these jacks scuttle away from you on this surface. They almost skim across the top. If you can make the most of this. Needs to draw close with the first one.
Looks a bit tight. I think every time this direction David wants to play the back, but Chris is forcing him onto this forehand.
Looks good to me.
Yeah,
Good opener.
Super Bowl again. Chris shaping up to the back. Yeah.
He's got the bowl to rest on now.
It's a good drawing line, just depends on the weight. I think that's will speed him.
And David's on a similar track to his first here. Might just be lacking pace, but I think it's going to make 2.
4 inches past jack high. Your bowl is 6 inches short of jack high.
Chris really needs to score this end, so he needs to do it preferably with this ball. He nearly got a friendly edge.
He's blocked himself down that hand though for his last delivery, so if David slots this in. Don't forget, if you can't stay with us tonight, you'll pick up all the reports and news on worldbowlstour.tv, the website. Hopefully you can stay with us for the rest of this game. David will be disappointed with that. Just got a nip on the jack, but not enough to make 2.
Chris is looking the backhand. You can remove David's ball clean, delay a shot. You could promote a short one onto it. But as I say, really must change something this end in his favour.
Timeout called. Chris has 3 timeouts remaining, sorry.
You can even use his own green ball and pick up the jack, bring it towards the green ball on the bottom left of your screen. Hard shots this on this rink. And there you see it. Just goes on you. Then when you're a fraction wide, it just stays straight.
Yeah, those sort of shots can make you look silly sometimes, John, and he looks like the shot to play, but very unforgiving on the portable rink.
Well, if David draws this, that's the end of the first set. Needs to run.
One shot, David Gourlay.
Now Chris can get a 4 in this set, but it's
Set score
very rare at
8-4
this level
after 8
to get it
ends.
in the last end. But the good thing for Chris is that he gets another end of practice for drawing to start the second set fresh.
Yes, but David would be very disappointed not to draw a second there. There was plenty of room. We've not really seen anybody really nail the jack yet. That'll happen tomorrow
Jack length,
afternoon at 2
27
o'clock
metres,
when
27.
John Ross takes to the rink.
Have you got a pencil and paper?
I think people are just struggling to find that consistency out there yet, John.
That seems to be the big difference this year. Consistency levels just not as high, but they're all first round games. People are trying to settle into the rink.
Great opener from David there. Chris has to score a 4 to tie this set. That first ball of David's makes things even harder for Chris.
Elliott's behind the jack. Does David just cover the green ball?
There's a lot of chat on the stream, John, about Crown Green. Chris has dabbled at the Crown Green game. Of course, he's from Blackpool Newton Hall Bowls Club, so surrounded by Crown Greens in Lancashire.
He's forced into this tricky shot because he can't afford to lose his ball, yet he needs to disturb the head. It's a great effort. Oh, this is a great shot. Oh, fantastic.
Brilliant bowl. Gives himself a huge chance now.
2 green.
It's a hard shot to do that, and he's played it brilliantly. It's got David thinking.
Close here. Swooping all the way back
It's a
in.
great reply. Superb.
Couldn't have asked for better than that.
1 red.
Up to that point, Chris had a chance of scoring a 4.
Probably has to try and roll the red ball out of the head and sit in its place. Another hard shot.
It's down a good track. I don't know what his weight's like. Well, he could have 3 seconds at the moment.
David just doesn't want to give him a shoulder to come off to take 2 reds out if he does get close. So he wants another ball in the head, but somewhere that Chris can't get at.
Looks close.
That's very good.
2 red.
Chris is in all sorts of trouble now.
I think even if he gets the split, John, I don't think it. I think David's bowl to the left of your screen will just lock on Chris's own bowl.
Yeah, I think he's looking at the plant. He doesn't know whether the red one will get past the green or not. David had a wee look at it as well. And he's going for it. He's in the area. Will they both go? No. Great try.
It's the right shot to play, certainly.
1 shot, and the first set, David Gourlay.
Well, the joy of this sets game is it all starts afresh now. David Gourlay's got 1 set on the card. Chris Gale can win the second set. It would take us to an evening tie break. Ah, John.
Yes.
He's brought the mat up.
I don't know if they can hear me or not, but he did have to change something. I would still rather see him have the mat back and the jack shorter, but at least it's a change. Right, Chris, lead bowl. This is the one you want.
26.
26-metre jack.
Asking it to slow down. There it goes. Not the start he wanted. Not sure it was with him driving the previous end caused him to throw his first delivery too heavy. But he should be used to that at this level. And he's got another opportunity. David's short again. His first ball. just not happy this direction, sure he isn't, Janice.
No, it's quite interesting. Chris has had a few practice sessions out there. He's obviously not settled on the length he wants to play in this direction.
I just feel having the mat back and having the jacks shorter, it just changes those lines. Those lines are still sort of there at that length. But it's got David out. Must do it with this ball. Give himself a bit of confidence. David shaking his head. He knows himself. That's not what he wants.
Well, all on the pace of this one. Looks a great line.
That's a great ball now.
He did that really.
2 green. The gap between the shot bowl is 3 inches.
David still confident to draw within 3 inches on the backhand. Looks more open on the forehand, but the man with David's quality, he knows he can draw this.
Looks in the area as well. Very close here.
Oh, it's superb, isn't it? Great ball anyway.
Might have just sat down yet. Camera angle shows that it's just sat down. Great effort.
There's a much higher line, so will he get back?
These bowls that Chris is playing with, not got
One
the
green.
same swing on them as the bowls that David has out there.
Looking for the perfect draw. Could touch the jack and slightly to the right hand side and get 2.
He's very close. All on the pace, just under.
Another good effort. Oh, move the jack. Could be 2 shots. Yeah, Chris is indicating 2 shots.
2 shots, Chris Gale.
Well, interestingly, from loose opening bowl on a different length of jack, Chris has picked up 2 shots coming towards the commentary box.
And it actually put David off more than it put Chris off, or brought Chris into it.
Yeah.
Just go with the regular sort of long jack they've been playing. Chris is happy enough at this length, this direction.
Length 27.5 metres, 27.5.
Well, now David's struggling.
The gap is
Chris
16.
put a decent first ball in. Let's see if he can adjust. Put David under more pressure.
Looks down a very good track for these bowls.
Well, he still needs to get one of his first 2 bowls close to the jack, I think, against David, and he needs to improve on that. Let's see how David adjusts. Change of hand.
Interesting question has just appeared on the stream chat about the 4 touches. That's 4 bowls that have touched the jack in their true course down the rink, and they get chalk marks on them. And somebody's asked, has it been won before? And one answer has said, I think Rob Paxton won it once, and that's correct. But also it was won by the gentleman sat next to me in commentary, I believe, John?
Yes, it was. It was against Mervyn King. And funny enough, I never got the shot that end.
Last bowl shot.
That's unbelievable.
4 touches and didn't get the shot.
Oh dear, that's my opponent on Sunday, this Mervyn King.
But, the check was handy. Still room for David.
Better here.
Yep. It's number 1.
1 ring.
Chris should really have tried to close that head down with his 3rd bowl. But he's a chance to redeem himself.
This looks on a tighter line than his last. Lacking weight as well. Opportunity missed there, but good opportunity for David Gourlay to draw a 2nd shot.
You just can't play that loose against David, you know. You must be within that 6, 8, 9 inches distance. He'd be disappointed after scoring on the direction he didn't like.
David's urging this on. Not
Oh.
sure whether it's made it.
Poor ball by David if he doesn't.
1 shot. David,
Oh,
David
didn't.
Gourlay.
Set score
And
1-2.
again, I see just struggling a little bit with the pace out there.
Yeah, both players seem to be doing it in this set, especially.
Jack length 28.5 metres, 28.5.
Again, just pulling up short.
Yeah, he's given Chris his chances this set, and Chris hasn't fully capitalised on them.
Well, he's not out of this set yet, with still being 2-1 up. Really needs to be taking these opportunities. I think he's short here. And again, we don't play any bad bowls up here in commentary.
No, we certainly don't.
And having had a few half-hour sessions practicing on it, it does change at different times of the day. Pace is hard to just...
There's a 2nd ball correction by David. Super. That's what's needed in this game. Anybody can throw their 1st ball short or heavy, but it's your 2nd ball that is the correction ball.
So we need a correction bowl from Chris here. And certainly looks better than his first.
Great ball. Might even fall in for shot.
1 green.
Both players corrected excellently.
In the area again here, David. Just overplayed it. Gives himself options with his last bowl though.
David's is jack high. Sorry, David's is 2 inches short of jack high, and green is jack high.
Yeah, Chris has to change hand. He can throw another shot, or even if he's heavy, Gets a good back position in case Davy attacks from the forehand. Not sure he likes this. No. Might stop Davy's forehand.
One green.
I think he was certainly having a look at the forehand.
Yes, and he still is. I don't know if there's enough room to clip the green clean, but even if he gets his red on the inside, his ball should put the green ball out, and his ball should remain there and lie 3 shots. Even if he puts the red ball onto the jack, he lies shot with the red one at the back. He loves his forehand runners.
Yes, certainly very accurate with the forehand runner.
Yeah, he's going for it. Here we go.
Under the line. Definitely under the line with that one. He'll be mad with himself.
One green.
It's very difficult for Chris to draw another shot, but he should be confident enough to give it a good attempt. No danger.
The winner of this game tonight will play the winner of the morning's game, which is Jason Greenslade and Neil Furman. Neil Furman from the USA.
One shot, Chris Gale.
So Chris has a 3-1 lead in this set.
For 3 ends.
And he's just sticking with what he knows, does he?
Yep, Matt back again.
Jack length 28 metres, 28.
He's overplayed again. That's the danger when you get into the stage. You don't want to be short with your first bowl. Just have a tendency to overreach it. But then they're not wasted at the back. You can make use of them later on, often in an end.
But with 3-1 up and needing to win the second set, it's not really the starts you want at this stage. There's David got in good weight. So let's see if he adjusts. He doesn't like it. Oh, Chris, you don't want to lose shots cheaply this end.
David's urging this one on. I just think he's lacking a bit of weight. He is.
Yeah, but he's counting.
2 red.
Just a steady draw for Chris.
Really needs to get one in with this bowl.
So he's asking it to stop or not with his hand action. Yeah. That's,
Sorry. 2 red.
he's putting himself on all sorts of pressure. And it is all his own doing.
Yeah, David will just be looking to draw to the green ball at the right-hand side of your screen. Anything close in puts more pressure on Chris Gale.
This could be a bad ball if it goes any further. Well, it's a great ball to get another shot, but Chris has not been drawing well at all. It provides a 2 or 3 ball target.
2 red.
So I fancy Chris to play with weight in the forehand. Try and get that jack moving to the back of the rink. Here he goes.
In the area as well.
There you go. Although David's counted, it was a very bad ball considering the way Chris played that end.
I think the jack goes on the respot.
Yeah.
The marker, Tony Hatch, just making sure everything's been marked or dead balls removed before he puts the jack on the respot, and then the shot clock recommences.
Of course, we do fancy David to draw this, but David was in a good position with Chris under all sorts of trouble until that strike.
All on pace. It's running a bit. I think it'll
Yeah.
do enough.
Well done, David.
1 shot, David Gourlay.
Set score 2-3.
David was just unlucky the ball came across the head, but if it sat in line or sat wide, Chris had a very difficult shot. He just wasn't drawing well at all. It forced him into the shot he's more confident with.
Yeah, I agree, John, and at least it meant he didn't drop a 3. It means he's still ahead in this second set, just by the 1 shot, but he is still ahead.
Jack length 28.5 metres, 28.5.
Good line here from David.
Yeah, excellent start from David. That's a David girl we all know of.
Yes, end 5. David won the first set, 9-4.
It's a great reply from Chris. Oh, excellent. Yep.
I slightly favour green.
David sticking to his favourite backhand. Most players might play the forehand, but David trusts himself to draw himself out of trouble in this backhand.
Close again. Well, just as you were saying
Yeah.
it, John. Perfect
Superb.
bowl.
1 red.
Excellent shot. It's pure class, that,
9
Janice.
ball.
Yeah, confident there, David.
Your ball is 2 inches past Jack high.
Had some loose ends from both players. David's just stepped up that gear now.
Chris will try and draw this. Just touch the jack, drop David's winning ball down. Just a wee shade heavy. Now, what does David do? Nice draw on the forehand, do you think, Janice?
Well, he could make 3 out of it, I suppose. It's all in David's favour at the moment, unless Chris draws to his own green bowl. The way that David's just played his previous 2 deliveries. I wouldn't
He's going for
count
cover.
him out. I must think that we can't actually see over the head from this position, but I must think that the jack's going to flick out to that side.
he was probably trying to draw the shot, but just made sure he erred on the high side. And there is a bit of a straightener in that hand once you go too wide. Chris will just be over the draw, I feel. Certainly a better effort.
Looks close.
Oh, great try.
Well,
Does he lie, we lie, who lies?
we're about
One
to
red.
find out. One red. Wow. Well, Chris, you couldn't have played a better bowl. I
He's
wonder
awfully
which
unlucky not to get
red.
the shot. Yeah.
Well, if David's holding shot, he won't want to make anything a target for Chris here.
Just covering the spot in case Chris drives this. I think he's got 2 spots covered, Janice. I can't see from this angle.
Yeah, looks about right.
He's trying to play a similar bowl to his last. I think he's under this time, is he?
Tighter line, I
Oh.
don't know what his weight's like. It's holding up. Needs to just chip on the red bowl.
One shot, David Gourlay.
So it's Peels at 3
Set
each.
score 3-3 after 5 ends.
Second set.
Jack length 27.5 metres, 27.5.
Again, sticking to his favoured backhand draw lines. Overplayed this. Not in a bad home.
And Chris had a disastrous end this direction last time. Let's see if he can tighten up here.
It's down a good line. Always on his weight.
Yeah, it's a good ball.
Certainly better coming in this direction from Chris.
It's forced David to change hands. And because of that, David's went short.
Oh,
10 inches
chance for
short
Chris
of Jack
here.
high.
Slight adjustment on his last.
He's flying with this.
One green.
I didn't want to be short. Needs to really be building these heads up.
He definitely does. I mean, David will draw this with this bowler the next. And he, will he change backhand?
One green.
Yeah, he's looking at it a little bit safer. Throw to the red bulls or drop his own front bull.
Looks under the line. Might do enough to reach his own bowl. No, it'll go now.
Well,
Two green.
there's 2 green. There's no catches for David. Just a nice draw. If he happens to be 6 inches heavy, he might touch the jack and make 3 shots himself. Line's not bad. Oh, David. Didn't want to be short.
A very loose end from David Gourlay there.
Yeah, it's just the opposite of the last time. Both players not really nailing it at the moment in the second set.
No opportunity for Chris here now. Holding 2, could draw for 3. The ends are counting down in this second set.
David will be very disappointed with himself. He's basically given away cheap 2 or 3 shots here.
Close again here from Chris.
Yeah. Just did what he had to do.
It's Gale.
Chris Gale, 3 shots up, 3 ends to
Let's go
play.
3-6 off the 6 ends.
Well, Chris not going to short this direction. He was caught out badly with his consistency.
Yeah, sticking with that
Length,
longer
28
length.
metres, 28.
28 metres. Just a question with them both playing a similar length, John, as to who gets in first.
Yeah, it looks like that. David's tactic from the start was to play long. And Chris obviously feels his bowls work better at longer lengths. He's afraid to go very short. But he's done that a few times this direction. He must up his lead bowls, I think, if he wants to win this set. David will be after him.
High line. Make it all the way back if it's a length.
Yeah, lovely weighted ball. Just hung on him.
This looks a narrow line again. Definitely under the line.
That's 2 poor balls by Chris. It's not what he wants at this stage. He wants to put the pressure on David, close this set out. It's left David an opportunity. Excellent ball by David. Just looking a good second ball. Doesn't lose a count this end after doing the hard work.
Better track from Chris. Just going to dip away again, I think.
Yeah, that's fine.
1 red. Your bowl is just short. Oh, the second bowl is just short of jack high as well.
I'm not sure he's wide enough. Well, maybe short more than anything, but
1 red.
I think it was a bit of both, really. Needed a bit more weight, but these bowls certainly swing of David's.
Chris definitely needs another one in the head. He can't chase this too much because it leaves his own ball exposed for David to turn out for a 3 or a 4. So a foot or so on this last ball, he'll rest the jacker ball. There, he's went too heavy now. Now will David look for this ball?
Certainly having a good look at it. He's looking up at the scoreboard as well. There's 3 ends left, David. You're 3 behind.
I mean, David could just draw for a simple 2. That puts him 1 behind. There's danger playing the weight shot, possibly, but
David has 3 timeouts remaining.
it's a good opportunity to get 3 or 4 shots here. Well, it's not good, it's difficult, but he has an opportunity.
Really wants to be counting 2 shots at least after this bowl.
If I was him winning the first set, I would just go for the draw, but that's what he's trying.
Just overplayed it.
1 shot, David Gourlay.
So that score 4-6 after 7 ends.
Of course, David only has to tie this set. He won the first set 9-4. The question coming from Debbie about the match official out there. Debbie is new to the officials. He did do some testing over the last couple of years, called Tony Hatch. Part of the full team this season. This is his
29
first
metres, 29.
main event. We have another one of the new officials here that arrives on Friday for the finals week. Dan McManus, the baby of the squad, a youngster from Scotland.
That's not the start David wanted either. David just needs to win the 2 ends, and that's him through.
Somebody's asking about, is there any news on the lady that was taken ill this afternoon? Yep, she was fine. As soon as they got around to the stadium, got a bit of fresh air, she perked up no end. Thank you for asking.
David urging it on, but it's not going to go there, no matter how often you try to push them.
Just over 12 inches.
They don't.
He's not happy.
No.
Certainly having a word with himself there. He knows he needs to really count at this end to give himself a chance in the last end.
And David's goal will be to pick up 2 singles over 2 ends. Chris isn't really pressurising him here. This is your chance now, David. 3rd ball.
Good track, all on pace. I don't think he likes this either. Stepped back normally means that he thinks the pace isn't right, and it definitely isn't, David.
Not sure what's in David's mind at the moment, but he seems to have no confidence whatsoever. I think it's the consistency more than anything. You can put 1 ball close, but can't repeat it with the others. And it's a similar story for Chris as well, but
Oh, Chris is certainly scrabbling his way through this 2nd set. Still room for David here.
3 green.
David's normally good at these pressure shots, so but he's not confident.
On a wide line, all on pace.
Might just be there, is it? There you go. Superb ball under that pressure.
No doubt David's saying to himself, why couldn't I do that with one of the others? Why did I have to put so much pressure on myself?
Oh, he doesn't look happy with himself. He's talking to himself, slapping his thigh. Chris is going for the... I assume he's trying to take the red ball out of the head.
Looking for it. Will that come back?
I doubt it, but... There's one of the two singles David needs.
Well, it's going to make for exciting last end of this second set. Do we go into a tie break? If Chris Gale wins this end, we're going to a 3-end tie break. If David Gourlay wins this end, even if he only counts one shot, he would tie the set. As he's won the first set, it would be enough for him to win this evening's game.
Jack length 28.5 metres, 28.5.
David just checking that Jack's on the tee.
Yep, his favourite length, favourite hand. Normally this ball would be within a few inches of the Jack. But there's more pressure in this end. And he's just come up with the goods here. Excellent ball.
Now that's just what David Gourlay needs.
Couldn't have put that ball down much better.
It's a funny old game, isn't it, John? You can be struggling away and then just one ball comes out sweet as a nut.
And look at this
isn't
for a
bad.
ball. If he gets
This
a Jack,
is great.
oh, superb. He mightn't have the shot, but it's given him a chance.
One red.
I mean, after the last few ends, they've played two wonder balls.
Yeah, excellent opener to the last end.
Will Davey hold up? That's it was good.
What's the gap to my ball now?
The gap for your bowl is 12 inches.
Right, front toucher for Chris. Or we nudge off the wall of balls.
All on his pace.
Is he
Might
getting
just
the
be
edge?
under.
No, just not up. Similar thing for David.
Needs to do it really with this bowl. Doesn't want to leave it to his last like he did at the previous end. Again, easy to say for the commentary box.
Yep.
Watching it.
Will he get the Jack full? No. Good ball though.
Not got
Two
shot.
red.
Definitely a closer bowl. Still room for Chris.
Not sure he's looking at that plant, or I think because David's lying 2 shots, he won't play it.
Timeout called. Chris has 2 timeouts remaining.
He's clicked his fingers. Don't know what that means, Janice.
Normally means he thinks he's quick. was a stamp of the foot as well, which is the same for Chris. Yeah. Didn't want to be short, that was the problem there, John. I think he wanted to reach into them, change something.
Yeah, I think he was trying to roll the plant up onto the, put the green ball onto the back red ball. If it's slightly high, you could lift the jack. You weren't guaranteed anything with the jack, but it's just a very hard shot to play at that carpet, that weight.
If David can draw here and just touch the jack to his own bowl. Just overplayed it. Well, there's still a chance for Chris here. This bowl to stay in the World Indoor Bowls Championship.
I just can't see the angle, but I think he's really looking at that plant. So his green ball sticks in David's back bowl. If he's
Time
high,
up,
can he get enough of the jack
Chris
to
has
run
one
through with
time
it
remaining.
to get the shot? Well, he's shaping up for weight. That's it.
Well, he's just played
It's a draw line.
draw line, and I think he might be overweight again. He is. David Gourlay will be
Two
a
shots.
happy man that has
Second
gone
set.
through
Match.
that
David
game. It's
Gourlay.
tough for him. Thanks for your company, John, and best of luck tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, thank you, Janice.
Don't forget to join us again in the morning at 10 o'clock. Have a good evening, folks.